Tampa Bay.
A major shot in the arm for Florida's COVID vaccination effort this morning. The newly federally run site coming to the Bay Area with the promise of thousands of more shots each day. And it is a push that's even more important as new variants spread faster than we can vaccinate, as Florida confirms its first case of the Brazilian mutation now.
And I know you felt all those changes yesterday. It was warm, it was humid, it was rainy, and then it cooled down. And that's going to really set the scene for your weekend forecast. I've got an hour-by-hour breakdown in just a few minutes.
You're hot, you're cold, you're yes, you're no.
You're Katy Perry to the fullest.
And you are up on the bright side on 10 Tampa Bay on this Saturday. It's February 20th, right?
Toot.
Already?
Still. Yeah.
Did we look at the name of that little boat?
A little toot.
A little toot, Clearwater Beach this morning. Hopefully you're starting your morning with... No, I'm not going to go there. I'm Josh Sidorowitz, you're with meteorologist Natalie Ferrari.
After the coffee.
Let me tell you. Hey, thank you for waking up with us. I hope you don't regret it already.
Yeah.
It's a little chilly outside, though, if you are out with a little toot this morning.
A little toot, a little kitty patooties. Heading out. You and the pups maybe going to be walking around, or your loved one like Josh. You will notice quite a bit of that cooler air settling in place, and you really have to squint to even make out some of that high cloud coverage that has been scooting across parts of the Bay Area, moving out of here from north to south. That is a clear radar, my friends. And we do have, again, some partly to mostly cloudy skies really through the southern half of the area. That is clearing as we speak. That means up to the north, we have been allowed to clear up those skies and really cool down those temperatures. A lot of them in the 40s right now from Crystal River down into parts of Hernando County. Then you get into the immediate Bay Area. It's still in those upper 40s, lower 50s. It is feeling cool and crisp out there. You'll notice these temperatures will be gradually warming up as we get into this afternoon, nearing the mid 60s, maybe even a few upper 60s inland and down to the south. But that is cooler than normal for this time of year. It's going to really set up to be a stunning weekend. I'll walk you through some subtle changes, though, in your 7-day coming up.
You can take Natalie's forecast with you when you go by downloading our free 10 Tampa Bay app. We even send you push alerts if there's ever bad weather headed toward your neighborhood. We are getting federal help here to speed up our vaccination process in Florida. FEMA is now planning to open a site at the Tampa Greyhound track next month on March 3rd. It's a big push to get more shots into more arms more quickly, and it'll be one of 4 FEMA sites, as a matter of fact, statewide, chosen because of easy access to public transportation. There will be phone lines if you can't register with a computer, and even translators on hand. Tampa Mayor Jane Castor says that this should double the number of people we are able to vaccinate each day, because the hub will also include mobile units that can take up to 500 vaccines a day out to surrounding communities then.
And those can be in other counties, Pinellas County, Polk County, Pasco County. So they're going to go to areas that are having a difficult time getting their hands on the vaccine.
About 100 of these FEMA sites are in the works across the country. So here in Florida, Jacksonville, Orlando, and Miami are also set to get one. Nearly a dozen others are set to open in Texas, New York, and in Pennsylvania. Right now, seniors and healthcare workers remain the top priority for vaccines in our state. Governor Ron DeSantis has said that Florida has 42% vaccination rates for our seniors. But the Tampa Bay Times found that that is not necessarily true for many Bay Area counties. Overall, though, more than 2.6 million people in the state have gotten at least one dose of the vaccine. That's about 12% of our population. Doctors say that speeding up these vaccines is even more important here as new variants of the coronavirus spread. The CDC's director now expects that the new variants will make up to half of all the cases by next month. Right now, mutated forms of COVID-19 make up about 3% of our nation's cases. We have already seen the UK variant here in Florida, but now the CDC is also reporting our state's first case of the Brazilian variant. Scientists say that it's similar to the one out of South Africa, and according to the doctors who our Angelina Salcido spoke with, it could potentially be more dangerous. Here's why.
First Brazil variant case here in the state of Florida. What do you think about that?
That doesn't make me real happy.
It's been weeks since USF Public Health's Dr. Tom Unash has been sequencing COVID-19 tests for mutations of the virus. While the variant out of the UK has spread across the state, the Department of Health found a different case in Miami-Dade County.
The Brazilian, variant is more infectious than what we've been having around. Pretty much it has the same mutations as the UK variant does.
But it also has an additional mutation scientists are concerned about.
It's like making one step along the way towards developing one of these escape mutants. Basically, the vaccines will no longer work at all against, or will work very, very poorly.
It's still unclear how the variant showed up in Florida. UNASH says someone with travel history may have brought it in, or it's just been spreading in the community for some time.
There's probably many more that are out there that we're just not detecting, because we're not looking, that hard.
While the CDC continues advising Americans not to travel, UNASH says our best defense is a mask.
This is what viruses do. They're not very good at very much, but the one thing none of them can do is hurt you if they don't get into your respiratory system in the first place. And the one thing none of these can do is to get around that mask.
So the CDC has confirmed 5 cases of this Brazilian variant in the U.S. You can see 2 in Minnesota, then 1 each in Florida, Oklahoma, and Maryland. As for that UK variant, well, that's spread even further here with cases reported in 41 states. Florida, though, with nearly a third of them, 433 confirmed cases. That is more than any other state and twice as many as the next closest state, California. Doctors had already believed that it was easier to spread, but now new data analysis also shows it's about 30 to 70% more deadly than other variants. And because they are developing and they're spreading now more quickly than we can get vaccinated, scientists are already working on ways to tweak our current vaccines so that they remain effective. Infectious disease researchers say that the mRNA technology they use to create the vaccine actually makes it easier to change.
You could almost look at the vaccine architecture as almost like a Lego set. If you have part of that Lego set that just doesn't work anymore, what you do is remove that piece and you insert a new one. Little harder than that sounds, but that's the basic concept.
And like Dr. Unash said, the virus can't mutate if it isn't spreading, right? Doctors say that our best defense for now will continue to be to wear our masks. Well, as scientists work on tweaking the vaccine, others are studying how the shots we have now could impact some vulnerable groups like pregnant women and kids.
I'm Madison Allworth in Tampa. Pfizer has launched the first COVID-19 vaccine trial for pregnant women. Pfizer will enroll around 4,000 pregnant women in the trial all over the world. Up to this point, it's been up to women to decide if they feel comfortable getting the vaccine because pregnant women were not included in the first trials.
Excluding you from a vaccine trial or, people like you from a vaccine trial essentially worsens the disparity in outcome because now, you don't have access to that thing that can help protect you.
But with this trial, pregnant women will no longer need to guess what's best for them and their baby.
So it's great that they are finally doing the trial because hopefully it will give us the data that we need so that more people will feel comfortable in receiving the vaccine.
Vaccine trials for teens and kids are also underway for both Pfizer and Moderna. Right now, researchers are starting with teenagers because their response will likely be more similar to an adult. It takes longer for those trials to make it down to very young children like toddlers to make sure that the vaccine doesn't interact with the other shots that kids have to get at that age. Researchers say that there's also one key factor that will likely make these trials take longer than they did for adults.
Because it is not as deadly in children, the bar is set very high for this vaccine to be even really super safe in kids because you have to weigh that risk versus benefit.
And there was a new study in Science magazine that says prioritizing vaccines for younger people could be the fastest way to slow the spread of COVID-19. Now, this research isn't necessarily talking about kids. People between the ages of 20 and 40 is what it looks like. The study says that that is the population most responsible for spreading the virus, which we have known. But even if that is the case, Dr. Jay Wolfson with USF Public Health says that there isn't enough vaccine supply to make that call just yet. And he argues it could cause more hesitancy to get the shot. Listen.
Almost 40% of the population is expressed an unwillingness to take the vaccine for a variety of reasons, either because they don't trust the vaccine, they don't trust the government, they don't want to be the first in line to get the vaccine, they want to see what happens down the road.
Dr. Wolfson says that the system Florida is following now, vaccinating our seniors first, is likely what is keeping the number of coronavirus deaths down. And he says for now that should take priority over slowing the spread. And we know from polling and from reports that the potential side effects of the vaccine are a big reason that some people are anxious about getting vaccinated. Younger people are reporting having more intense side effects. Both the CDC and the FDA, they have said that response is normal, even a good thing. Dr. Latasha Perkins from the Georgetown University School of Medicine and Dr. Linda Nava from the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center have some sharper insight this morning into why.
Seeing those side effects because you have a robust immune system.
When we're younger, we tend to mount a bigger and stronger immune reaction, if you will. And that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing.
But they do emphasize you should still get the vaccine. The side effects are typically mild or moderate. They go away after about a day or two, and they are nothing, they say, compared to actually getting COVID-19. Well, he is barely old enough to drink, but the Rays are hoping his arm can beef up the bullpen after we had to let Blake Snell go. Next.